Before we start, hit that subscribe button. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Sector 7, Bosnia, March 1996. 4 of us on routine patrol. We walked into the forest at 0800. By 0900, we were watching ourselves walk out. You ever see yourself from the outside? Not in a mirror, not in a photo. Actually see yourself, walking, breathing, moving, while you're standing perfectly still watching. We did, and that was just the beginning. My name is Marko Kovač. I'm 54 years old. I live in Zagreb. I don't sleep much anymore. When I do, I dream about forests, about patrol routes, about seeing things that shouldn't exist, about seeing myself die. This was March 1996. The war was technically over. Dayton Agreement signed. Peace declared. But Bosnia was still a mess, still dangerous, still full of mines and unexploded ordnance and people who hadn't gotten the memo that the fighting was done. We were part of a Croatian contingent doing security operations, keeping the peace, making sure people didn't start shooting again. Boring work, mostly. Patrol, report, repeat. I was 26. Corporal Marko Kovač, 3 years in the Army, 2 deployments. Thought I'd seen everything war had to offer. I was wrong. There were 4 of us that day. Me, Private Luka Novak, Private Dario Horvat, Private Ivan Tomic. You don't need their whole life stories. Just know they were soldiers. Good ones, the kind you trust with your life because you've already done it before. Luka was 23, quiet kid. Could walk through a forest without making a sound. Best point man I ever worked with. He had a sister back home. Marina. Wanted to be a doctor. He was saving money for her medical school. Every paycheck, every dinar, all for her. Dario was 28. Big guy, strong, could carry twice what anyone else could and never complain. He told jokes, bad ones, made everyone groan. But we needed that. Needed someone who could make you laugh when everything else was shit. Ivan was 25, married. Wife was pregnant, due in May, 2 months away. He carried her ultrasound photo in his helmet, showed it to everyone. Look, you can see the head. See? Right there. We all nodded like we could see anything except blurry gray nothing. But he was happy. That's what mattered. Good men, all of them. 3 of them didn't make it home. March 14th, 1996. Cold morning. Spring hadn't quite arrived yet. Frost on the ground, our breath visible in the air. We got orders to patrol Sector 7, a stretch of forest about 5 kilometers from our base. Standard security sweep. Check for illegal weapons. Check for mines. Check that nobody was doing anything stupid. 4-hour patrol, in and out. Simple. Should have been simple. We moved out at 0800, standard formation. Luka on point, me behind him. Dario and Ivan covering rear. Weapons ready, but not expecting trouble. The forest was quiet. Too quiet. You know that feeling when nature stops making noise? When birds don't sing and animals don't move? That feeling that something's wrong, but you can't see what? We felt it. Anyone else notice how quiet it is? Ivan asked. His voice was low, controlled, but I could hear the edge in it. Yeah, I said. Stay alert. We kept moving. The patrol route took us through dense forest, pine trees, thick undergrowth. Visibility maybe 20 meters. Perfect place for an ambush. Perfect place to die. We'd lost people in forests like this. Everyone had. But nothing happened. We walked. We checked the area. We found nothing. No weapons, no mines, no people. Just forest being forest. Then we reached the clearing, small open space, maybe 30 meters across. Our patrol route went straight through it. Standard procedure was to go around, stay in cover. But the clearing was empty. No movement, no threats. And going around would add an hour to our patrol time. What do you think? Luka asked me. I scanned the tree line. Nothing. Just trees and shadows and that wrong kind of quiet. "Straight through," I said. "Fast. Stay together." We moved into the clearing, weapons up, eyes scanning, every step feeling exposed, vulnerable, open. The frost crunched under our boots, loud, too loud, like announcing our presence to everything in the forest, halfway across. That's when we saw them, on the other side of the clearing, maybe 50 meters away. 4 figures, walking out of the tree line, Croatian uniforms, same pattern as ours, same gear, same weapons, moving in formation, same spacing we used, same tactical positioning. Another patrol. "Hold," I said quietly. We stopped. Watched them. Standard procedure when encountering friendly forces. You don't just keep walking. You identify. You confirm. You make sure they're actually friendly and not someone wearing stolen uniforms. Happened all the time during the war. Serbs dressed as Croats. Croats dressed as Serbs. Everyone lying about who they were. The 4 figures stopped. Stood perfectly, still. Like they were waiting for us. Like they'd been expecting us. Something was wrong. I couldn't explain what. But something felt off. The way they stood. Too rigid. Too perfect. Like mannequins. Like soldiers posing for a photograph and holding the position too long. "Flash them," I told Luka. "Standard identification protocol. You signal." They signal back. Confirms everyone's on the same side. Confirms nobody's about to get shot by mistake. Luka raised his hand. Made the signal. Index and middle finger up. "Wait, friend. Identify yourself." The 4 figures didn't respond. Just stood there. Perfectly still. Not moving. Not acknowledging. Just standing. "Try again," I said. Luka repeated the signal. Slower this time. More obvious. Making sure they could see it. Nothing. No response. No movement. Just 4 figures standing in perfect formation. Watching us. Or not watching us. Hard to tell from this distance. "Maybe they didn't see it," Dario said. "Forests dark. Trees casting shadows. Easy to miss a hand signal." "They saw it," Ivan said quietly. "Look at them. They're facing us. Directly at us. They saw it. They're just not responding." He was right. All 4 figures were facing our direction. Not off to the side. Not looking at something else. Directly at us. You don't stand facing someone and not see them signal. Not unless you're deliberately ignoring them. "This doesn't feel right," Luka said. His voice had that edge, that tone you get when instinct is screaming danger but you can't see the threat. "Agreed," I said. "We're going around, back into the forest. We'll circle the clearing, avoid contact, not worth the risk." "Good call," Dario said. We started backing up. Slow, weapons still ready, eyes still on the 4 figures. Standard procedure. You don't turn your back on unknown contacts, not until you're in cover, not until you're safe. One of the figures moved, took a step forward, then another. Started walking toward us, slow, deliberate. The other 3 followed. Perfect spacing, perfect synchronization, like someone had given an order we couldn't hear. "Weapons ready," I ordered. We brought our rifles up, not aiming yet, not threatening. Just ready, just prepared to defend ourselves if this went bad. The figures kept coming, closing the distance. 30 meters. 25. 20. That's when I saw the face. Mine. The lead figure. The one in front. The one walking point. It looked exactly like me. Same height, same build, same face, same scar over my left eyebrow where I'd been hit with shrapnel in '94. Same crooked nose from the time I broke it playing football as a kid. Same everything. I was looking at myself, walking toward myself, while standing perfectly still. My brain tried to process it, tried to make sense of it. Twin brother I didn't know about? No. I was an only child. Doppelganger? Those aren't real. Hallucination? But everyone else was seeing it too. What the fuck? Luca whispered. Because he saw it too. The second figure, his face, his body, his everything. A perfect copy walking next to my copy. Same dark hair, same narrow face, same way of holding his rifle. Everything. Marko, Dario said. His voice shook. That's us. That's fucking us. He was right. All four figures, Marko, Luca, Dario, Ivan, are exact copies, walking toward us in formation, moving like we moved, looking like we looked, wearing our faces like masks, but somehow more real than masks, more precise, more perfect. 15 meters now, close enough to see details, close enough to see that they weren't quite right. The uniforms fit wrong, too new, too clean, like they'd just been issued yesterday. Our uniforms were worn, dirty, patched in places, lived in. And their eyes were wrong. Empty, black, not brown like mine, not blue like Luca's, just black, absorbing light instead of reflecting it, like looking into holes in their faces instead of eyes. Back! I shouted. Into the forest, now! We turned and ran. Training went out the window. Tactics went out the window. We just ran. Like children, like prey. Like soldiers who'd seen something that broke their understanding of reality. We crashed into the tree line, branches whipping at our faces, roots trying to trip us, thorns catching our uniforms. Behind us, I could hear them. Not footsteps, not breathing, not the normal sounds of people running. Just presence. Like they were right there even though they couldn't be. Like they were moving through space differently than we were. We ran for maybe 200 meters. Then I grabbed Luca, pulled him down behind a fallen log. Stop, I hissed. The others skidded to a stop, dropped down beside us, all of us gasping, hearts pounding like they wanted to break out of our chests. We aimed our weapons back the way we'd come, fingers on triggers, eyes scanning the forest, waiting for them to burst through, waiting for copies of ourselves to come running at us. Nothing. Just forest, just trees swaying in wind we couldn't feel, just that wrong kind of silence. What the fuck was that? Dario gasped. He was shaking. Big, strong Dario, who I'd never seen scared of anything, shaking like a child. I don't know, I said. My own voice didn't sound right. Too high, too fast. They looked like us, Ivan said. He was staring at nothing, eyes wide, unfocused. Exactly like us. How is that possible? How is that possible? It's not, I said. It's not possible. We're seeing things, stress, fatigue, the mind playing tricks, something. But I didn't believe it. We'd all seen the same thing, 4 copies of ourselves, walking toward us, too perfect to be coincidence, too real to be hallucination, too wrong to be anything natural. We need to report this, Luca said. His hands were still shaking. He noticed, grabbed his rifle tighter, trying to stop the shaking. It didn't work. Report what? I asked. That we saw ourselves? That there are 4 people walking around who look exactly like us? They'll think we're crazy. They'll think we cracked. They'll pull us off duty. Maybe discharge us. Maybe lock us up for psychological evaluation. Maybe we did crack, Dario said quietly. Maybe the war finally got to us. Maybe we're all losing our minds. All 4 of us? Ivan asked. All at the same time? All seeing the exact same thing? That's not how crazy works. He was right. Shared hallucinations weren't a thing. Not like this. Not this detailed, not this specific. We sat there for 5 minutes, maybe 10, just breathing, just waiting for our hearts to slow down, just trying to process what we'd seen. No one spoke. What could we say? What words existed for this? We finished the patrol, I finally said. We stay together. We stay alert. We don't split up for any reason, and we don't talk about this until we're back at base. Then we figure out what to report. Understood? They nodded. What else could they do? We were soldiers. We had orders. We had a job. You don't abandon your mission because you saw something weird. You finish. You report. You let command make the hard decisions. We stood up, reformed our formation, started moving again. But everything felt different now. The forest felt hostile. The shadows felt alive. Every tree looked like it might be hiding something. Every sound made us jump. Every flicker of movement made us aim. And I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched, that something out there knew we'd seen them, and it didn't like that. It didn't like witnesses. An hour later, we found the bodies. We weren't looking for them. We were following the patrol route, staying on track, trying to finish the mission and get back to base where things made sense and the world followed rules. Luka saw them first. He was on point again, moving careful through thick undergrowth. He stopped, raised his fist. We all froze. "Contact?" I whispered. "Bodies," he said. His voice was flat, empty. 3 of them. We approached carefully, weapons ready, expecting ambush, expecting trap, expecting something bad because that's what you learn in war. You learn that bad things come in waves. One bad thing means more bad things are waiting. They were in a small depression off the patrol route, maybe 10 meters from the path, hidden by ferns and deadfall. You'd walk right past them if you weren't looking. We almost had. 3 bodies, Croatian uniforms, same pattern as ours, lying in different positions, like they'd fallen, or been placed. Hard to tell. Dead for maybe a week based on decomposition. The smell hit us even before we got close. That sweet rot smell of human flesh breaking down. The smell that gets in your nose and stays there for days. We spread out, covered angles. I moved forward with Luka, checked the bodies. The first one was face down. I could see the uniform, could see the gear, could see the rank insignia. Private. I reached down, rolled the body over. The face was gone, decomposed beyond recognition. Animals had been at it, nature doing what nature does. But the uniform was intact. I found his identification tags around his neck. Metal tags that soldiers wear so their bodies can be identified when their faces can't be. I read the tags. Private Luka Novak, Croatian Army, Catholic. My blood went cold. I stood up, took a step back, looked at Luka. Real Luka. Living Luka. Standing right there beside me. "What?" he asked. I held up the tags. He read them. His face went white, paper white, like all the blood had drained out in 1 second. "No," he whispered. "No, that's not possible. I'm here. I'm alive. That's not me. Check the other 2, I said to Dario and Ivan. My voice didn't sound like mine, too controlled, too calm, like I was talking about someone else's nightmare instead of living my own. They moved to the other bodies, checked them, found their tags. I saw their faces change, saw the color drain, saw the understanding hit like a physical blow. "This one's me," Dario said. He was holding tags, his hands shaking so hard the metal clinked against itself. "Private Dario Horvat. That's my name. That's my fucking name." "Mine too," Ivan said. He wasn't holding the tags, just staring at the body, at himself. Dead, decomposed, lying in a forest in Bosnia. "Private Ivan Tomic, That's me. I'm dead. I'm looking at my own corpse. You're not dead, I said. You're all here. You're all alive. Different soldiers. Same names. Coincidence. All three? Luca asked. His voice was high now, panicky. All three same names as us? Same unit designations? Same ranks? That's not coincidence. That's impossible. The odds are, they're astronomical. They're impossible. He was right. I knew he was right, but I couldn't accept it, couldn't process it. Because if these were somehow us, if these bodies were somehow connected to the copies we'd seen, then reality itself had broken. Then the world didn't work the way I'd always believed it worked. Where's yours? Ivan asked me quietly. He was looking around the depression, looking for more bodies. Where's Marko Kovač? If we're all here, where are you? I looked around. 3 bodies. Only 3. Luca, Dario, Ivan, no 4th. No Marko. I don't know, I said. You're the corporal, Luca said. You're the leader. Maybe that's why. Maybe they took the privates first. Maybe you're next. Maybe you're going to... Stop, I said. We don't know what this is. We don't know what it means. We mark this position. We get back to base. We report. Let command figure this out. That's the procedure. That's what we do. Procedure? Dario laughed. Not a happy laugh. A broken laugh. The kind you make when your brain is trying to cope with something it can't understand. We just found our own corpses. We saw copies of ourselves walking around. And you want to follow procedure? Yes, I said. Because procedure is all we have. Procedure is what keeps us sane. We follow the rules. We do the job. We trust the system. Otherwise, we're just lost in the dark making shit up. I pulled out my GPS, marked the coordinates, took photos with the camera we carried for documentation, made sure we had evidence, made sure someone would believe us when we got back. We're leaving, I said. Now, we stay together. We move fast. We get back to base. We report everything. Understood? They nodded. What else could they do? We were soldiers. I was giving orders. They followed. We left the bodies. Couldn't take them with us. No way to carry 3 corpses through 5 kilometers of forest. They'd be recovered later. After we reported. After command sent a proper team. If command believed us. If the bodies were still there when the team arrived. We started moving back toward base. Not following the patrol route anymore. Fuck the route. Fuck the mission. We cut straight through the forest. Direct line. Fastest way home. Abandoning procedure. Abandoning protocol. Just trying to survive. That's when we heard it. Voices. Ahead of us. Not far. Maybe 50 meters. Croatian voices. Speaking Croatian. Casual conversation. Like soldiers on patrol. Like people who had nothing to fear. We stopped. Weapons up. Hearts pounding again. We'd just gotten them to slow down and now they were racing again. The voices got closer, and I realized what they were saying. Marko. Luca. Dario. Ivan. Our names. Someone was calling our names, one after another, repeating them over and over, like a roll call, like taking attendance in school. But the voices were wrong, too flat, too emotionless, no inflection, no humanity, like someone reading from a list, like something pretending to be human and not quite getting it right, not quite understanding how voices work. Don't answer, I said quietly. Don't respond. Don't let them know we hear them. Who are they? Luca whispered. I don't know, I said. But they're not friendly. Keep moving. Stay quiet. We moved, trying to be silent, trying to avoid whatever was calling our names. The voices continued, getting louder, getting closer, coming from every direction now, not just ahead, behind us too, to our left, to our right, surrounding us, calling our names from all sides. Marko, where are you? Luka, we're waiting. Dario, come back. Ivan, don't run. Closer now. So close it sounded like someone was whispering right in my ear. I spun. Weapon up. Nothing there. Just forest. Just trees. Just shadows. But I could feel them. That presence. That weight. Things that weren't human. Things that wore human shapes but weren't human inside. Things that knew our names and wanted something we couldn't give. Then we saw them again. Our copies, all four now, standing in a line ahead of us, blocking our path, perfectly spaced, perfectly aligned, not moving, just standing, watching us with those empty black eyes. They looked different now than before. Details were wrong, more wrong. The uniforms didn't fit, too tight in some places, too loose in others. Like they'd been put on by someone who didn't understand how clothes worked, how human bodies moved, and their faces. Jesus Christ, their faces. Still ours, but degraded, like photocopies of photocopies. Like the image had been reproduced too many times, and the quality was failing. My face on the copy was blurred, indistinct, like looking at myself through dirty water. But the eyes were clearer now, blacker, deeper, not just empty, wrong, like looking into something that went on forever, like looking into the void itself wearing my face as a mask. Marko, my copy said, using my voice, my exact voice, but wrong, computer-generated, synthesized, not human. Stop running, we just want to talk. Move, I shouted at them. Get out of the way! They smiled, all four at once. Same smile, perfect synchronization, not a happy smile, not a friendly smile, just lips pulling back from teeth, just a gesture they'd learned, just something humans do that they were imitating without understanding why. We can't move, my copy said. We're you. We go where you go. We are where you are. Don't you understand yet? You're not us, I said. You're not real. You're not anything. We're more real than you, the copy said. We don't doubt. We don't fear. We don't break. We're what you could be if you weren't weak, if you weren't flawed, if you weren't limited by being human. Marko, Luka said beside me. His voice shook. We need to go. We need to go now. He was right. This conversation was going nowhere. These things weren't going to move, weren't going to let us pass. We needed to run, needed to get away, needed to find another route. Open fire, I said. Luka opened fire first, short burst, 3 rounds. I saw them hit the lead copy. My copy. Center mass. Perfect shot. Perfect grouping. Should have dropped it. Should have killed it. It didn't move. Didn't react. Didn't even flinch. The bullets hit. I saw the uniform tear. But no blood, no impact, no effect. Like shooting a hologram. Like shooting something that looked solid but wasn't. The copy looked down at the bullet holes in its chest. Looked back up at us. Smiled wider. That doesn't work on us, it said. We're not made of meat like you. We're made of something else. Something better. Run! I screamed. We ran. Different direction. Didn't matter where. Just away. Just anywhere but here. The voices followed, still calling our names, still sounding wrong, getting louder, getting more insistent. Like they were angry now. Like they were frustrated. Like they wanted us to stop. To listen. To understand whatever they were trying to tell us. Dario fell. Face forward. Hard. Like someone had tripped him. I grabbed him. Pulled him up. His nose was bleeding. Blood all over his face. His eyes were glazed, unfocused. I saw it, he gasped. I saw myself, standing over me, looking down, reaching for me, trying to pull me down into the ground, into the earth, into somewhere dark. There's nothing there, I said. But I was lying. I could feel it too. That presence, right behind us, right over our shoulders. Things that looked like us. Things that wanted to drag us down, to replace us, to take our places in the world. We kept running, Dario between me and Ivan, half carrying him, Luca ahead, leading, finding the path, getting us out. The voices got louder, reached a crescendo, all four voices shouting our names at once, overlapping, echoing, filling the forest with sound that shouldn't exist, with voices that weren't human, with something that was screaming our identities back at us like accusations. Then we broke through the tree line, open ground, our base visible in the distance, maybe 1 kilometer, fences, buildings, people, safety, reality. The world that made sense. The world where copies didn't exist and bodies didn't have your name and voices didn't call you from nothing. We ran, didn't slow down, didn't look back, just ran until we hit the gate and the guards were staring at us like we'd lost our minds and we were gasping and bleeding and trying to explain something that couldn't be explained. "Contact!" I shouted at the guard. "Forest! Unknown hostiles! 4 of them!" "Where?" the guard asked. He had his weapon up, scanning behind us, looking for threat. "They were following us," I said. "Right behind us." The guard looked. The forest was empty, quiet, normal. Just trees, just shadows, just forest being forest. "I don't see anything, Corporal," he said. "They were there," I said. "All 4 of them. I stopped, because I realized how it sounded, how crazy it sounded. 4 soldiers running from something they couldn't see, claiming they were being chased. By what? By who? We couldn't explain it. Couldn't say copies of ourselves without sounding insane. "Get the watch commander," I finally said. "Tell him we need to debrief, immediately. Priority." The guard nodded, spoke into his radio. Within minutes, officers were coming. Questions were being asked. We were being separated, led to different rooms. The debrief beginning before we even caught our breath. They debriefed us for hours. Separate rooms, different interrogators, same questions over and over. "What did you see? Describe them in detail. Are you sure they looked like you? Could it have been other soldiers? Could it have been the enemy? Could it have been anything else?" I sat in a gray room with a major whose name I never learned. He had tired eyes and hands that shook slightly when he lit his cigarettes, the kind of shake you get from too much war and not enough sleep. "Corporal Kovač," he said, "I need you to understand how your report sounds. You're claiming you saw 4 soldiers who looked exactly like you and your team, that these soldiers followed you, that you found bodies with your names on them, that bullets didn't affect these soldiers. Do you understand how that sounds?" "I know what I saw," I said. "All 4 of us saw it. Same thing, same details." "What you think you saw," he corrected. "The mind does strange things under stress, especially in war zones, especially when you're tired and scared and expecting threats. Pattern recognition goes into overdrive. You see faces in clouds, soldiers in shadows. The brain fills in details that aren't there." "This wasn't shadows," I said. "This was 4 people wearing our faces, walking toward us, speaking to us. They were real." "Were they?" the major asked. He pulled out a file, opened it. "Because we sent a recovery team to the coordinates you marked, to get those bodies you reported, the ones with your names." "And?" I asked. But I already knew. I could see it in his face. "Nothing," he said. "They found the location, found the depression. No bodies, no evidence anyone had ever been there. No disturbance, no decomposition. Nothing." My stomach dropped. That's impossible. We saw them. I touched them. I read the identification tags. You marked the wrong spot, the major said. Or you misread the GPS. Or you hallucinated the bodies. One of those three, because they're not there. We marked the right spot, I said. I checked the GPS 3 times. I took photographs. Let me see them, the major said. I pulled out the camera, turned it on, went to the photos. The screen showed the forest, trees, ground, the depression, but no bodies, just empty forest. Like I'd photographed nothing, like I'd taken pictures of an empty hole in the ground. No, I said. No, they were there. I photographed them. I saw them. What you saw and what the camera captured are 2 different things, the major said, which suggests the problem isn't with the camera, it's with what you thought you were seeing. He closed the file, stubbed out a cigarette, lit another one immediately. Look, he said, you've been in country for 2 years. You've seen combat. You've lost friends. That fucks with your head. All of you. It's not weakness. It's not failure. It's just what war does to human beings. We break. We see things. We need help. We don't need help, I said. We need you to believe us. I can't believe something that has no evidence, he said. No bodies, no photos, no other witnesses. Just 4 soldiers who all saw the same impossible thing, which means either you're all lying or you all experienced the same trauma-induced hallucination, or... He stopped, looked at me. Something in his eyes changed, like he'd just thought of something he didn't want to say. Or? I prompted. Or it's real, he said quietly. And if it's real, we have a much bigger problem than 4 confused soldiers. We have something in those forests that can replicate people, that can create perfect copies, that can exist and not exist at the same time, and I don't know how to fight something like that. He stood up, walked to the door, stopped. We're keeping you at the base for observation, he said. 1 week. Medical checks, psychological evaluations, making sure you're fit for duty. And you don't talk about this, not to other soldiers, not to family, not to anyone. Understood? What about the copies? I asked. What if they come back? They won't, he said, because they don't exist. They never did. You just need rest, all of you. But his voice said he didn't believe it either. They kept us at the base, not as prisoners, but not free either. We stayed in 1 barracks room, the 4 of us, guards outside, medical staff checking on us every few hours, doctors asking questions. Are you sleeping? Are you eating? Are you seeing things that aren't there? We didn't talk much, just sat, played cards, tried to pretend everything was normal. But it wasn't normal. We'd seen something. All of us knew it. And pretending it didn't happen wasn't making it go away. Luca couldn't sleep. I'd wake up at 0300 and he'd be sitting on his bunk, staring at nothing. Sometimes he'd be holding his identification tags, reading his own name over and over, like he was checking to make sure he was still real, still himself. You okay? I asked him one night. No, he said. I keep thinking about that body, the one with my name. What if it was really me? What if I died in that forest and I just don't remember? What if I'm the copy now? You're not a copy, I said. You're you. You're real. How do you know? He asked. How do any of us know? What if the real us died and we're the things that replaced them? What if we're the wrong versions walking around thinking we're real? I didn't have an answer for that, because I'd been thinking the same thing, late at night when you can't sleep and your brain won't shut up, wondering if I was really me, or if something had taken my place and given me fake memories and I'd never know the difference. Dario ate constantly. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks between, like he was trying to prove he was solid, that he had a body that needed food, that he was physical and real and not just some ghost wearing a dead man's face. "Why are you eating so much?" Ivan asked him. "Because I can," Dario said. "Because if I was a copy, if I was whatever we saw, I wouldn't need food. I wouldn't need sleep. I wouldn't need anything. So I'm eating, proving to myself that I'm still human." Ivan wrote letters to his wife, to his unborn daughter, page after page, telling them he loved them, telling them to remember him, telling them that if something happened to him, if he disappeared, that it wasn't his choice, that he fought to come home, that he never stopped trying. "Why are you writing like that?" I asked. "Like you're saying goodbye?" "Because I saw my own corpse," Ivan said. "I saw myself dead in a forest. That means something, Marko. That means this isn't over. That means whatever's out there, it already got us. We just haven't finished dying yet." "And me?" I stared at mirrors, every mirror in the barracks, every reflective surface, looking for signs that I wasn't me, that something was wrong, that the thing in the reflection was a copy pretending to be Marko Kovač. But I always looked like me, always moved like me, always felt like me, which either meant I was still real, or it meant the copies were so perfect you couldn't tell the difference. And if you couldn't tell the difference, did it even matter? After a week, they released us, cleared us for duty, said we were fine, said we'd experienced a shared trauma response, but we were mentally fit, said we could go back to work. But they split us up, different units, different sectors, different bases, like they were afraid we'd talk if we stayed together, like they were afraid we'd compare stories and realize something they didn't want us to know. Luka got sent north, near the Hungarian border. Quiet sector, low threat, easy duty. Dario went west, coastal assignment, even quieter, even safer. Ivan got leave, sent home, to meet his daughter, to be with his family, to recover from whatever we'd been through. And me? I stayed. Same base, same unit, different patrol routes. They kept me in Bosnia but away from Sector 7, away from that forest, like they were testing something, like they were seeing if it would follow me, if it would come back. But we stayed in touch. Phone calls when we could get to phones, letters when we couldn't, making sure everyone was okay, making sure the forest hadn't followed us home, making sure we were all still alive, still real, still ourselves. For 3 months, everything seemed fine. We did our jobs, went about our lives, tried to forget. Then Luka disappeared. May 15th, 1996. He called me 2 days before, said everything was fine, said he was doing well, said he'd made friends in his new unit, said the nightmares were getting better, said he thought maybe we'd overreacted, maybe it had been stress after all, maybe we'd imagined the whole thing. Then he was gone. His unit said he was on patrol, different forest, different sector, but still Bosnia, still trees and shadows and places where things could hide. He was walking point. His sergeant said Luka was maybe 20 meters ahead. They were following, maintaining proper spacing, proper protocol. The sergeant blinked, looked down at his map, looked back up. Luka was gone. Not hiding, not taking cover, not injured. Just gone. His rifle was on the ground where he'd been standing, his pack beside it. His radio still transmitting static. But no Luka. They searched for 2 weeks, brought in dogs, brought in helicopters, brought in specialized tracking teams, covered every square meter of that forest, found nothing. No blood, no signs of struggle, no footprints leading away, just his equipment sitting on the ground like he'd evaporated. The Army listed him as missing in action, presumed dead, cause unknown. They sent a letter to his sister, Marina, the one who wanted to be a doctor, the one he'd been saving money for, telling her that her brother was gone and they were sorry, and here's his personal effects and a small check and thank you for his service. But I knew better. I knew what had taken him. I knew where he'd gone. The forest had taken him back. The copies had collected him. Whatever we'd seen in March had come back for him in May. I called Dario, told him what happened. He was quiet for a long time. "I see them," he finally said. "Every day, walking around. Copies of me. In the distance, on patrol, in the mess hall. Always just at the edge of my vision. When I look directly at them, they're gone. But I know they're there. I know they're watching, waiting." "Maybe we should request transfers," I said. "Get out of Bosnia. Go somewhere else. Somewhere without forests." "You think that'll help?" Dario asked. "You think geography matters to whatever these things are? They found us once. They'll find us again." He was right, but I didn't want to believe it. Dario went next. June 1996. He was in Zagreb on leave, 10 days of freedom, away from Bosnia, away from forests, away from war. He was staying with his parents, eating his mother's cooking, sleeping in his old bed, pretending to be normal. June 8th. He went for a walk. Maximir Park, big park in the middle of Zagreb. Trees and paths and people walking dogs. Safe, normal, urban. His mother said he left at 1400, said he'd be back in an hour, said he just needed air, needed to clear his head, needed to walk. He never came back. Police found his jacket on a bench, his wallet, his keys, his identification. Everything except Dario. They searched the park, interviewed everyone who'd been there, checked every camera, found nothing. He'd vanished in broad daylight in a public park in the middle of a city. The police listed him as a missing person. Possible suicide, possible accident, possible runaway. But they had no evidence of any of those. No body, no note, no signs he'd planned to disappear. Just a soldier who went for a walk and never came back. I got a call from his mother. She was crying, screaming, asking me what had happened in Bosnia, what had we seen, what had changed her son, why was he afraid of forests, why was he seeing things, why did he disappear? I couldn't tell her. What would I say? That copies of soldiers walked in forests? That they collected people? That her son had been marked and there was nothing anyone could have done? I said I didn't know. I said I was sorry. I said Dario was a good soldier and a good friend. And then I hung up and broke everything in my room because I knew. I knew. The forest had taken another one. The copies had collected another one. We were disappearing, one by one, in the order we'd stood in that clearing. Luca first, point man, front of formation. Then Dario, second position, which meant Ivan was next, and then me. The pattern was clear. The order was set. They were taking us back, taking us home, taking us to wherever copies came from. I called Ivan, over and over. He didn't answer. I left messages, desperate messages, warning him, begging him to stay inside, to avoid trees, to avoid forests, to avoid anywhere the copies could reach. He finally called back 3 days later, June 11th. "I saw Dario," he said. His voice was flat, empty. "Yesterday, walking past my house. I was looking out the window. I saw him, walking past. He waved at me, smiled. Then he was gone. But Marko, Dario disappeared 3 days ago. How could I see him yesterday?" "You didn't," I said. "It was one of them. One of the copies. They're playing with us, showing us what they can do, showing us we can't escape." "I know," Ivan said. "I see mine too, my copy. It stands in my backyard at night. Just stands there, looking at my windows, looking at my wife, looking at my daughter. And I can't do anything. I can't call the police. What would I tell them? That I'm being stalked by myself?" "Leave," I said. "Get out of there. Go somewhere else. Anywhere else." "Where?" Ivan asked. "They found Luka in Hungary. They found Dario in Zagreb. Geography doesn't matter. We're marked. We're already gone. We just haven't finished disappearing yet." August 1996. Ivan was home. His daughter was 2 months old. His wife had named her Anna. Beautiful baby. Perfect. Everything he'd hoped for. Everything he'd fought for. Everything that should have made coming home worth it. August 14th, 0200. His wife woke up, heard voices downstairs, heard Ivan talking to someone. She got up, went to the window, looked down at the driveway. Ivan was standing beside their car, talking to someone. She couldn't see who. Just Ivan, smiling, nodding, like he was having a pleasant conversation with an old friend. Then he got in the car, started it, drove away. She thought maybe he'd gotten a call, maybe military emergency, maybe something urgent. She went back to bed, waited for him to come home. He didn't. 3 days later, police found the car, parked in a forest outside Split, engine still running, doors open, keys in the ignition, Ivan's wallet on the seat, the ultrasound photo of Anna on the dashboard, positioned carefully, like he'd wanted her to be the last thing he saw. But no Ivan. Search teams covered the area, found nothing. No footprints, no blood, no signs he'd been there. Just his car, running, empty, like he'd stepped out for a minute and never stepped back. The police ruled it suicide, said he'd walked into the forest and killed himself, said soldiers do that sometimes, said the war breaks them and they can't come back. They closed the case, listed him as dead, sent condolences to his wife. But I knew. He hadn't killed himself. The copies had taken him. The forest had collected him. He was gone like Luka and Dario. Gone like I would be soon. 3 down, 1 to go. Me, last one, waiting for my turn. That was 28 years ago. 28 years of waiting, of watching, of seeing myself in places I'm not, of knowing they're coming, of knowing I can't escape. The copies started appearing in my life around 2010, 14 years after that patrol. Long enough that I'd almost convinced myself I was safe, that maybe being the corporal meant something, that maybe the pattern had broken. It hadn't. I started seeing me. Walking down the street, turn a corner, there I am. Same coat, same shoes, same face, same everything. We make eye contact. It smiles. That same wrong smile from 1996. Then it's gone. Vanishes like it was never there. Or I'll be in a cafe, look up from my coffee, see myself sitting 3 tables away, staring at me, not blinking, not moving, just staring. I look away, look back. Empty table. Nobody there. Like I'd imagined it. But I didn't imagine it. My wife left me in 2015, said I was paranoid, said I was seeing things, said I needed help she couldn't give. She took our daughter, got a restraining order, said I was dangerous, said I was unstable, said I wasn't the man she married. She was right. I'm not. That man died in a forest in Bosnia in 1996. I'm whatever's left, whatever survived, whatever's waiting to be collected. Last week, I got the phone call, unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but I did, because I knew. I've always known this call was coming. Silence at first, then breathing, then my own voice, speaking to me from the other end. "Marko," it said, "we've been waiting. The others came home. Luka in May, Dario in June, Ivan in August. Now it's your turn. November. 28 years late. But time doesn't matter to us. We're patient." "What do you want?" I asked. Same question I asked the Major in 1996. Same question that's never been answered. "What we've always wanted," my voice said. "To complete the set. 4 soldiers saw us. 4 soldiers need to come home. 3 have. You're the last, the corporal, the leader, the one who gave orders. And now we're giving you an order. Come home, Marko. Come back to the forest. Come back to where you belong." "I'm not going anywhere," I said. But my voice shook, because I could feel it, that pull, that need, that urge to get in a car and drive to a forest, any forest, just walk into the trees and keep walking. "Yes, you are," it said. "You've been resisting for 28 years. But resistance is exhausting. Fighting is tiring. And you're tired, Marko. So tired. We can feel it. We can see it. You're ready to stop. Ready to surrender. Ready to come home where copies live and soldiers never die and the forest keeps what it takes forever." The call ended. Number disconnected. Like it had never existed. I'm writing this now because I don't have much time left. I can feel it. That pull getting stronger. Every day. Every hour. Every minute. The urge to walk into trees. To find them. To find us. To take my place with Luka and Dario and Ivan wherever they are. Wherever copies go. Yesterday I drove to Maximir Park. Same park where Dario disappeared. I didn't plan to. I got in my car to go to the store. But I ended up there, engine off, looking at trees. And I could see them, all 4 of us, standing at the tree line. Luka, Dario, Ivan, and my copy. The one from 1996. The one that's been waiting 28 years. All of them smiling, all of them waving, like welcoming me home, like saying it's time, like saying stop fighting and just accept what's coming. I didn't go, not yet. Drove away, came home, locked my doors, wrote this. But I'll go back, soon. Maybe tomorrow, maybe tonight, maybe in 5 minutes, because the pull is too strong now, because I'm too tired to fight anymore, because 28 years is long enough to run. The copies aren't in Bosnia anymore. They're here, in Zagreb, in my city, in my life, getting closer every day. I see my copy everywhere now, at the store, at the park, outside my building, always just watching, always just waiting, always just smiling. My neighbor knocked yesterday, said she saw someone who looked exactly like me standing outside my door at 0300, said she almost called police. But when she looked again, nobody was there. Asked if I had a twin brother. I said no. She looked at me like I was lying. The phone rings at night. I don't answer, but I can hear my voice on the other end through the handset, calling my name, telling me it's time, telling me to stop delaying, telling me the forest is waiting and the others are waiting, and I'm the last piece and they need me to complete the set. I'm going to Maximir tomorrow. I've already decided. I'm going to walk into those trees. I'm going to find them. I'm going to join Luka and Dario and Ivan wherever they are. Because fighting this for 28 years hasn't worked. Running hasn't worked. Hiding hasn't worked. The forest takes what it sees. And it saw me in March 1996. And it's been waiting to collect me ever since. If you're reading this, if you're military, if you ever patrol forests, if you ever see yourself, if you ever see your team walking toward you, wearing your faces, listen to me. Don't investigate. Don't engage. Don't try to understand. Run. Run and keep running and never stop. Never go into forests. Never look in mirrors too long. Never trust that the person walking beside you is real. Because once they've marked you, once they've seen you, once they've copied you, you're already gone. You're already dead. You're already walking toward the forest where copies live and soldiers go to complete the pattern. And you can run for years, for decades, for 28 years like me. But you'll go back eventually, because the pull never stops, because the copies never give up, because the forest is patient and it always collects what it's owed. I can hear them now, outside my building, knocking on doors, my voice calling my name. 4 voices, actually. Luca, Dario, Ivan, me, all of us together. Finally, after 28 years, telling me it's time. Time to stop writing. Time to stop resisting. Time to come home where I belong. The door is opening. I locked it. 3 deadbolts, heavy security door. But it's opening anyway. Slowly. Like someone with infinite patience is testing each lock. Seeing how long I'll wait. Seeing if I'll come willingly or if they have to drag me. I'm standing up now, walking toward the door. Not because I want to, but because I have to. Because 28 years of fighting has used up everything I had. Because I'm too tired to run anymore. Because the forest is calling and I can't ignore it anymore. They're standing in the hallway. All 4 of us, younger than I am now. Still 26 like we were in 1996. Frozen in time. Frozen in the moment we saw them. Frozen in the forest that took us. And they're smiling. Not that wrong smile anymore. A real smile. A welcoming smile. Like brothers seeing a brother who's been gone too long. Like soldiers welcoming a soldier home. My copy steps forward. Extends a hand. I see dirt under its nails. Fresh dirt. Wet. Like it's been digging. Like it's been preparing my place. Like it's been making sure everything's ready. Marko, it says in my voice. My exact voice. But warmer now. More human. More real. We've been waiting. We've been incomplete without you. Come home. Join us. Complete the patrol. Complete the pattern. Come back to the forest where copies live forever. I'm taking its hand now. Cold. But not corpse cold. Different cold. Like touching something that exists between alive and dead. Between real and unreal. Between human and whatever they are. And I can see it behind them. The forest. Not the hallway. Not my building. The forest from Bosnia. From Sector 7, from 1996, where this started, where this ends. The trees opening up, the path waiting, the place where all 4 of us go to complete the set. We're walking now, out of my apartment, down the stairs, through the building. Nobody sees us. Nobody stops us. Like we're invisible, like we're already gone, like we're already just memories. Out into the Zagreb night. But it's not Zagreb anymore. It's Bosnia. It's 1996. It's the forest where we found ourselves and everything changed. And I can see them now. So many of them. Hundreds of copies. Thousands, maybe. All wearing uniforms from different times. Different countries. Different wars. All soldiers who saw themselves. All soldiers who were marked. All soldiers who came home eventually. All of us who looked in the mirror and saw something looking back that wasn't quite right. All of us who realized too late that the forest keeps what it sees. All of us who completed the pattern. We're walking deeper now, into trees, into darkness, into the place where copies live and soldiers go and patterns get completed and sets get filled and forests collect their debts. And I can feel it happening. The change, the shift, becoming less Marko Kovač from Zagreb, more copy, more forest, more pattern, more collection, more complete. Soon there will be a new me walking out. Younger, stronger, better. The me I was in 1996 before the forest marked me. That me will go back to Zagreb, will live my life. Will do it better than I did. Will be the me I should have been if the forest hadn't taken me. And the real me will be here, in the trees, with Luca and Dario and Ivan, with all the others, all the soldiers who saw themselves and couldn't unsee it, waiting for the next patrol, the next soldiers, the next ones who see themselves, waiting to smile, to wave, to call them home where they belong, where we all belong now, because the forest is always hungry, and it never stops collecting. I can barely think now, can barely remember being human, can barely feel anything except the pattern completing, the set filling, the